No, Destructor. His name is not
Alright.
Nate.
I think we're live.
Oh, are we? Okay.
Alright. So, let's get this going. Let's... Alright. So, hello everybody. I am John Unfull, and with me here is Sam the Digital doing commentary. Or helping with
Hey, guys.
commentary. For good old-fashioned Metroid Zero Mission, 100% hard mode. So hard mode, we saw any percent hard earlier in the marathon. So a lot of the same fundamentals apply. We don't get nearly as much resources. Enemies have been changed. So
Our routing decisions are also going to be similarly different from the normal mode categories because of that.
yep, in 100%, the route we're going to be taking is somewhat changed. It's not like any percent where we totally change up the boss order, but there's a lot of route choices that we have to make in hard mode just because of the ammo health situation.
One of those small choices you're going to see coming up is John's going to go pick up long beam here,
Yep.
and high room on hard mode is a lot more difficult without long beam, and there isn't a big reward for getting it later on this
Yeah.
category.
It's not like any percent where skipping long beam saves like upwards of 10 seconds. Because it's 100%, so we have to come in here to get long beam anyway. It's more like it just saves a handful of seconds. And, you know, hard mode is hard enough that long beam is really nice. Also, getting out of long beam that way it's actually really, really annoying because that shot you have to do to hit the last block is actually frame perfect.
And he did it perfectly, which
Yep.
is really nice.
Just did it casually, no problem. So, good start to the run. Alright, so we're gonna try to do, I'm saying this mostly to remind myself to actually go for it. Well, never mind, I messed it up. Alright.
Yeah, because you only have 2 missiles for that, you have to go for a drop to continue the fight. But he messed it up.
Around with spikes. Which is the standard fight for hard mode, really. Oops. I want that. So we still get charge beam early, just like right now this is going to look very similar to normal mode as far as routing goes.
Interestingly enough, it was hard mode where I originally started getting charge beam early. It's a lot more useful on hard mode.
Yes. Really, really is. Cool.
Yeah, these enemies do not die quickly. They die from 1 beam shot in normal mode, but they take a lot more in hard. But you can pseudo them easily.
Yeah. So long beam just makes hive room so trivial. It's so nice. It also just looks more like a beam. You know, it actually travels across the entire screen. So this so far has not deviated from normal mode except for grabbing long beam. That's the only real difference so far.
Yeah, after we grab bombs, we are going to make some small changes compared to what John is used to doing.
Yep, in 100% normal for Zero Mission, one of the big things about the game is just that there's so many possible routing variations that you can do and still, you know, have a viable route. And that's not at all the case for hard mode. Hard mode railroads you into a few route choices just by virtue of giving you half the energy, 40% of the missiles, half the supers, and half the power bombs.
You can do a few variations of this route, but they're all going to be quite a bit slower, honestly. But yeah, we're gonna head to Norfair right away, Upper Brinstar right away. Yeah, Norfair, because we really need the ammo from there.
So
you get like what, 3 missiles or something, and you need to.
We're forced into doing early Brinstar in hard mode, basically just because late Brinstar doesn't even come close to giving you enough ammo for Kraid. Even early Brinstar, we barely have enough ammo to do what we need to do in Kraid. Namely, kill Kraid.
Yeah, and that's going to be another change that's fairly important for this category.
Yeah, Kraid is going to look a whole lot different. So we do get to see all the nifty early Brinstar bomb jumps.
I really like that wall jump that you do, it's cute.
Thanks. Alright, so now we just have to wait a little bit. Hopefully the wait is for good RNG, which I've guaranteed by using my patented bomb strats. See? Look at that. Easy.
The bombs didn't actually do anything.
No, they didn't. There's not anything you can do to manipulate the bugs, unfortunately.
I mean, those are pretty good bugs. Maybe the bombs did do something.
Well, not in real time, anyway. In real time, there are no bug manipulations. Varia is really slow. Like, we're right there, and it still loses about 40 seconds to go get it. It's a massive time loss. Okay.
Funnily enough, it's not quite as bad in hard mode because it allows you to skip some heals and stuff, but it does take a while. And
yeah.
The game will give it to us for free later on anyway.
Yep. It's like Varia is not all bad, but it's definitely slow.
The developers were really nice and gave us one last Ripper to worry about in that.
Yeah, in hard mode, that last bomb jump is actually easier.
Yeah, I have a feeling they kind of knew what they were doing with that. They kind of intended for us to use this sort of route on hard mode.
Yep, absolutely. Alright, so now we're about done with Brinstar. There's still a few items we need to grab.
So something to note here is John's health is at 105, and those enemies, those zoomers, I guess you would call them.
These guys do 40 damage a pop.
They do 60 damage a pop on hard mode, and he's gonna have to.
It's definitely.
Is it 40?
It is most definitely 40. I got hit in the first room.
Okay, yeah. Well, in any case, they do a whole lot of damage, and he doesn't want to die to them.
Yep. The other thing we're going to do here is we're going to pick up this E-Tank right now instead of after Kraid. This is more of a safety thing than anything else. It's not actually that much slower in hard mode, but it's very, very safe.
Yeah, there's going to be a room coming up in Kraid where enemies deal you die damage and you can get poked around.
Yep. So one of the things I'm going to do as a part of my marathon safety program is I'm going to actually take this save here. Just because there's a lot of somewhat potentially deadly stuff coming up. First one is we're going to ignore the acid worm area, unlike normal. Normal mode, you have enough ammo to go up there. I've only got 18 missiles, so going up there, it's doable, but it's really slow. So
Yeah, on normal mode, this route that John's taking is about the same speed as normal mode, but here it's just so much better.
Come on, man.
Yeah, this is tough, guys.
Seriously. The last bomb. Every single time. Okay, not that time. This is why I saved and got the E-Tank.
Yeah, this is a trick that John is not... He's very 50-50 on this trick. He either nails it or it takes him a while.
Yeah, it's either first try or like 20th try. But... oh well. That's alright. Happens.
Yeah, you made it without dying.
Yep, I survived.
You're gonna want to heal here, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Gives me an opportunity to show off the refill glitch. And that refill glitch is actually really, really hard to get.
Yeah, that refill glitch feels a little bit random, to be honest.
It really, really does. We're good. Okay. I was a little scared there. That room is really dangerous.
Yeah, you can see why he got that E-Tank earlier.
Yeah. Like, without that extra E-Tank, I would have died in that room.
The Kraid fight can be pretty scary, too. You don't really have...
missiles.
Yeah, for this fight, you don't... You only just have enough ammo.
Okay. We're good. Yeah, Kraid is actually a really challenging fight to do properly in hard mode.
Oh yeah, that was so close.
I'm gonna go ahead and just grab a bunch of drops here. Alright.
Yeah, coming up, John's gonna need a whole lot of health, so
And
that's why I'm selecting those.
Speed boost is a really, really important item. It's the big reason why we go Kraid first in 100%. Okay. That scared me a little bit, but we're good. Okay, guess we'll get that later. I guess we'll get it now.
Yeah, the shine spark out of the Rio room, which is the room with a bunch of Rios. That's what the enemies are called. Is kind of tight.
Yep, there's very little leeway for this spark. But we got it. First try. Definitely first try. It did not take me multiple attempts to set that spark up. So you saw Eagle do the same spark when he did any percent. He did a slightly different setup. I kind of prefer the platforming setup there, even though it is a little tighter. I find it to be a lot more consistent than the wall jump, but it's just personal preference, really. So now we've got a nice cutscene here, and then... Alright. So now we're just going to be collecting a couple items and doing a few things here in Brinstar before making our way to Norfair. You know what? I'm going to grab a little bit of Marathon safety here.
Yeah, this portion of the game is basically the same throughout every single category.
Yeah, we're still following generally the same skeleton of the route that we do in normal mode. But this section of the game coming up gets pretty hairy. Because we're going into Norfair without the Varia suit. And that means a lot of hell runs. In normal mode, it's not too difficult in normal mode because you have 4 E-tanks, or 5 for this. Here I've got 2.5.
Yeah, our routing is going to be really important too.
Yep. So first things first, we got to go over to get power grip. And of note, in normal mode you would use pseudo screw attack through this whole room, but pseudo screw attack doesn't actually kill any of the enemies in hard mode, so I've got to use missiles. There's also an extra enemy up there that I'm gonna do a big jump just to see where he's going. There's so many like tiny little details that are different in hard mode that have to completely change how you play the game. Easy. It's really not that. JVJ is absurdly difficult. And, like, barely saves time. I don't even know that it saved time there, but it looked cool, so we're gonna do it.
Honestly, I think the next JBJ looks infinitely cooler.
Oh, it does. No argument here. That's kind of low. Whew, okay. That scared me.
Yeah, if you fail that, the cost of failure is so high.
Yeah, the cost of failure is really, really high, because if I had been too low, I would have bombed, and I would have had to walk all the way back to get that spark. Hello? Power grip is a seriously underappreciated item in this game. Like, every run gets it because it is mandatory, but there are so many places where it just makes quality of life so much better. And that's... I guess we never actually mentioned bomb jumping in this run. There's not actually a huge amount of it anymore now that we have power grip, now that we're out of Kraid. But
I mean, bomb jumping is a really important thing in most Metroid games, really, so...
Yeah, it is. It's a little more flexible in Zero Mission than it is in some of the other entries in the series.
Yeah, it is really easy to bomb jump in Zero Mission.
Mm-hmm.
That Ripper going the wrong way. I hate when it goes that way.
I know, man. That Ripper just... I seem to always have him going to the right, so I can never take the normal way down. Alright, so Norfair, this is going to look different from what you're used to seeing in normal mode, I think. The route I'm doing here is actually kind of a product of Sam.
Yeah, I created this route originally because I thought it was interesting and it could be fast. I was the only person who really thought that until we timed everything, because apparently my sense of what's the word for it?
Oh, wow. Okay. I got really scared there. Yeah, so Sam originally told me about this route, and I brushed it off and said, no, that sounds really bad. But Sam timed it, and it turns out that this route actually has a huge number of benefits. The big one is that it saves the heated room for later. It's a shame. So we actually have a lot more health in hard mode, and it just works out so much better. Seriously? I can't believe that wasn't a refill glitch. So we basically have one full E-tank extra at this point, which makes hard mode so much nicer. Because we have to go through a bunch of heated rooms right here. And there's actually a room after this heated room that's really deadly too.
Yeah, it is an enemy coming up after the heated rooms that deals 60 damage.
Yep, so I can only take one hit in this next room, and it's filled with flying enemies, so I'm gonna save here. I did a ton of practice runs where I died in this room, so we're playing this bad boy safe.
There is one pattern in particular where you only have 5 frames to get the jump properly.
Get that pattern, so we're good.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, so we've got a refill basically everywhere in hard mode. There's no way around it. We don't have a lot of health to work with, but this route actually cuts down one refill.
There is technically a route that would let you skip the heal and is potentially faster, but it is a huge gamble to do that route.
Yeah, if you do that route, you're basically gambling that you get 2 power bomb drops, and power bomb drops are excruciatingly rare.
I think I calculated it to be roughly a coin flip whether you get 2 power bombs or not if you were doing the other route.
Sounds about right. This is kind of the final heated room that's, you know, even remotely maybe an issue. Since I healed just before it, it's not really a problem. I have plenty of health for it. But this room is somewhat infamous in normal mode, because a lot of players haven't actually healed before it. So they go into it with not a lot of health. And I don't even have a lot of health left over.
Yeah, you don't go in with a lot of health in hard mode either, compared to not healing in normal mode. It's a little scarier than John makes it out to be. If you mess up your movement or something like that, you're just gonna die.
It's very easy for that room to just... If it starts going wrong, then it's very easy for it to continually go wrong. So I'm taking this enemy a little safe because he really, really hurts. And there's one more heated room I have to go through before getting another E-tank. It doesn't take a lot of health, but if I'd gotten hit by that guy, I don't think I would have had enough health for this room. Really? I played that really safe because that caterpillar actually deals 40 damage in hard mode, so it very possibly can kill you. This is the best spark in the game, by the way. That spark is actually rather difficult. Breaking the first speed boost block without falling down is actually a 2-frame window to get. And there's not much you can do to make that any easier, you just have to hit the 2-frame. Okay, good job, beam hitbox. So having high jump and screw attack for this whole segment in hard mode just makes it so much nicer, especially for that first room right after Ice Beam. There's more enemies in there. And it's just so much less annoying to navigate.
Yeah, getting high jump first was really just made for for hard mode.
Yeah, absolutely. And now this room is totally trivial. It takes about an E-tank worth of health, but you know, it doesn't even matter, even on hard mode. Another small thing is that we get dismissal now instead of in cleanup. And that actually saves a pretty significant amount of time. And it's a big part of the reason why this route is fast at all.
The fall in this room is really nice too.
Yeah, I love the fall through the main Norfair shaft.
Yeah, a lot of what we're doing in this game is going up platforms. When you go down platforms quickly, it looks really nice.
This is weird. Alright, whatever, we're through it. So you might notice my ammo count going into Ridley here. I've got 13 missiles and 2 supers, and that is not even close to enough to kill the Imago Bee that we would normally go kill in normal mode.
Alright, before we get to the big thing in Ridley, maybe you should explain Ridley and the puzzle rooms and such in a bit of detail.
Yeah. So Ridley's a challenging area. There's a lot of rooms that are kind of designed like as puzzles. And the general theme of the puzzles is is if you fail the puzzle, you've got to reset the room. So that's mostly accomplished by the use of crumble blocks. So Ridley is just a ridiculously punishing area, because any mistake in the puzzle room usually means you're losing upwards of 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah, and John is going to be coming up to a trick very shortly.
Yep.
I'm going to let you see what happens, then I will explain it. I have this scripted because it's pretty complicated to explain.
Easy.
Oh, you got it first try?
Yep.
Alright, so what happened was John froze 2 enemies who were at the same height and unmorphed as he bounced from landing. And when you land like that, from morph, she bounces, and if you unmorph as she bounces, the game gets confused a little bit, and what's the word for it? Puts you on the ground and in the air at the same time. That lets you spear attack and kill both pipe bugs at the same time while being on the ground. The game then moves Samus to the pipe bug's height where the pipe bug respawns, and that's completely under the speed booster box. And if you didn't understand any of that, basically frozen enemy hitboxes are awful, and my ability to explain things is also pretty bad.
Yeah, so there's an awful lot going on in a really short period of time with that trick. So
there is no way we're going to be able to do it much justice, to be honest.
No, there really isn't. So in hard... So, since I'm seeing some questions about hard mode in the chat, I'll sum it up again. Hard mode, enemies deal double damage. Some enemies are changed. Some rooms have different enemies in them that are stronger, faster, have more health. Okay, woof woof. And missile tanks give you 2 missiles, and super missile and power bomb tanks give you 1 of each. And energy tanks only give you 50 health. All that comes together to make even 100% hard actually a pretty deadly category. But we're through most of the puzzle rooms now.
We also didn't mention that John didn't tackle Imago Bee right away.
I mentioned it.
Oh, you did it.
Yep, I don't have anywhere near enough ammo going into Ridley. And that is unfortunately slower, but there's also unfortunately nothing we can do about it. Like, the only way to even theoretically make it happen is to grab Varia, which is just so slow anyway. That it just wipes out any time save you would get. Casual super that I don't need.
Yeah, unfortunately in this category, we have to heal a whole lot more than in normal mode, so there's no way around healing before the Ridley fight.
Yeah, you just, like... I would be going into the Ridley fight with 26 and 3. Like... There's just no way to make the Ridley fight work with that amount of ammo. And even refilling, I barely have enough ammo.
Yeah, this fight is basically like any percent normal. The way we do it. You have just about as much effective health to kill Ridley with, so if you mess up, it can get spicy.
Yeah, this is kind of a spicy Ridley fight, which is a rarity in Zero Mission, honestly. I forgot to refill in one of my practice runs here, and it very, very nearly killed me only because I recognized it. Hello.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people complain about the difficulty of this game, but they've never really given hard mode a shot.
Zero Mission hard mode is fantastically well done. It's not just enemies have more health, which is, in my opinion, a ridiculously lazy way of doing game design. But enemies actually have their health left alone in Zero Mission hard mode. Some enemies are changed out for tougher versions, sure, but the tougher versions exist in normal mode too. Alright, so the big reason that we go raid first is for Ridley, so we can clear out Ridley in one go. Hello? Thank you.
The downside of that is that we have to watch an extra cutscene, but it is so worth it.
Ridley is just so out of the way. Coming back here and clean up is just not a fast option at all. Also, I just took an absolute beating from those owls. You can see how that left me with not actually a huge amount of health. So now we've got to take care of this fight because we barely have the ammo for it. I was trying to do the task strat there, and it worked about as well as you would expect. Alright. So now we're done with Ridley. And we're almost through the dangerous parts of the game.
Oh, remember that you have to collect the missile now rather than because you didn't collect it earlier?
Wait, what missile?
In Brinstar.
Oh yeah, I always do that in hard mode.
Okay.
I'd be thinking I forgot something.
No, you can't forget anything. Forgetting things is something that can happen to the best of us.
Yeah, especially because hard mode is just such a different route. It's really easy to accidentally forget about something.
Yeah, there is some really weird routing that's going to go on later, and John constantly forgets about it.
Yeah. But right now, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, for the next 15-20 minutes or so, it is going to be standard Zero Mission stuff.
Yep.
As far as routing goes.
Yep, slight difference. Here is collecting this missile tank during the spark. I normally don't do that, but in hard mode, it's just the best option.
Yeah, you take a whole lot less damage by collecting it late too.
Mm-hmm. And that didn't really come into play here because I refilled, but when you're trying to go really fast and you skip that refill, that extra health is super nice to have. And And we've got to take a heal before Tourian.
Yeah, ideally, we get long beam later and go by the long beam route.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because we have to heal and we've gotten long beam, we just have to take this route, and it's not the greatest. But what can
I mean, what can you do? You can skip long beam for later.
you could, but it is dangerous.
I'm not doing. I don't like it. Alright, so now we're coming up to Tourian. And hard mode Tourian in Zero Mission is one of my favorite pieces of game design ever.
Yeah, they throw so many Metroids at you.
Yeah, I mean, for all the lore about how Metroids are really deadly and scary and everything, that never actually comes through in the games, except in Zero Mission Hard Mode Tourian.
Yeah, enemies deal 2 damage per frame when they latch onto you, and they throw a lot of Metroids and a lot of
Metroids, a lot of Rinkas.
Yeah, and those Rinkas are designed to knock you into those Metroids. It is tough. I think John likes to take this really aggressively and use as many supers as he possibly can.
Yeah. I play hard mode Tourian really aggressively. The other problem is that, as we mentioned earlier, frozen enemies have really bad hitboxes. So it can be really easy to hit something and freeze the wrong object and, you know, just generally get your shooting messed up with.
Yeah, for some reason, Rinkas have a higher priority than Metroids, and they will get frozen while Metroids don't. It's stupid.
Okay. You can see I got grabbed there, and it took a ton of health. It almost 2 E-tanks worth of damage.
And it was just a light tap, too.
Yeah,
that room is very scary.
Yep. Alright, I'm getting really good super drops, fortunately. And was that a super from a red Rinka? It was. That is literally a 1 in 1,000 chance. We're gonna go ahead and just farm for a super here. This is made a lot nicer by having screw attack, but okay.
You know, that decision to use the last super was very questionable.
Yeah, if I was really paying attention, I wouldn't have gone down to I wouldn't have gone down this far. I'm trying for one more, but we're not getting it, so we're just gonna go.
Yeah, drops from green Rinkas can be really obnoxious.
I was trying for Zebetite skip there, but I did not get it, unfortunately.
Yeah, Zebetite skip is one of those things that uses the hover over enemies where you confuse the game into thinking you're both on the ground and in there at the same time.
So Mother Brain's AI is actually changed in hard mode.
I wouldn't really call it AI, but...
Yeah, okay, Mother Brain's a little different in hard mode.
Yeah, she only takes 3 shots to the eye before she closes her eye.
Yep. The escape timer is also shortened, so I've only got a minute to get out of here. That's still more than enough time, but...
Yeah, they had to design it for low percent, so the timer is actually pretty good for low percent hard mode.
Yeah, for low percent hard mode, you barely have enough time to get out.
Yeah.
Alright, so there we go, we're through Tourian. Tourian is actually a really ridiculously scary part of the run. Like, I lost. There was one day where I was doing some practice runs of this. Every single run I did, I think I did 3, all of them I died in Tourian. It's a really, really dangerous part of the run.
Yeah, if we're doing races of this category, it's inevitable that somebody dies or loses a whole lot of time or something like that.
Sam and I did a bunch of races to prep for this, and I think almost every single race one of us died. But now we just have this ridiculously long cutscene to watch.
It looks like we're gonna finish this death list, though.
Don't say that. Don't say that, man. We are
gonna talk too soon.
Very far from out of the woods. We're maybe in a clearing, but we very much are still comfortably within the woods here. So the suitless section is basically the same. There's a few minor differences, and pirates deal 200 damage a pop instead of 100, and since I only have 4 E-tanks, I can take 2 hits before dying. Ah! Shoutouts to Scotty. That's
nice
hilarious.
job, dude.
Right.
Now we know where we're going, at least.
Yep, we're not gonna get lost. So I'm saving here because, like I said, I can only take 2 hits from pirates before dying, and that's not really a lot. Realistically, I shouldn't take hits, but if I start taking hits, it's really easy to take more than 1 hit.
Yeah, if this was a PB attempt, he would probably skip the heal because it saves a lot more time.
Yeah.
But in this marathon setting, there is no way.
Yeah, marathon setting, I'm just taking a save there as well. Just because it's really, really easy to die. You might have noticed a theme throughout this whole run of it being really easy to die. But this, except for like a couple of rooms which are very slightly different. Of note, that gray door to my right, that's a save room in normal mode. It's locked in hard mode. There's one other save room that's locked as well. And that other save room that's locked is really, really unfortunate, actually. This room is also different. It's got about twice the number of searchlights in hard mode. Really? I'm very surprised that caught me. Okay.
Oh, you didn't jump through the door properly, that's why.
I thought I could make that without jumping.
The searchlights are pretty finicky as far as things go.
Yeah.
Their hitboxes don't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, the hitbox does not quite line up with the sprite. Which you see better in normal mode when you basically walk right through the center of a searchlight.
You can also do that in hard mode, but it's quite a bit trickier to do
It's surprisingly, it's hard in hard mode.
Yeah. It's not exactly that it's more difficult, it's just the setup looks weird because we're used to normal mode.
Yeah. This room is also a little different, but it's not different enough to change how we do it. Just wall jump quickly up there and you're safe.
Yeah, if your muscle memory is a little different, it can be annoying. I've seen runners start hard mode and get detected there every time.
Yep. So this strat, affectionately called the Sam strat, it's a small little like 1 second time save in hard mode, in normal mode, and in hard mode it's actually really, really important. I mean,
Yeah, unfortunately,
really
this strategy, which is of very little importance, is named after me, while nothing else is.
But normally, if I hadn't gotten that strat and I had the alarm on right now, I would duck into the save room that's up here. But unfortunately, in hard mode, there is no save room. And that actually comes into play later on, a little bit.
Yeah, our routing could change quite a bit if that save room existed in hard mode, but it doesn't.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I really wish it was there, but what can you do?
Oops, it's fine. So now we're almost done with Suitless, which I don't know. I like Suitless. A lot of people don't, but
You know, that's basically what every speedrunner says, though.
I like it. Some people do, and some people don't.
It's mostly more casual players that don't like this as much, I would think.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not exactly the most engaging part of the game to watch, I guess.
No, it's not. It's very relaxing, though. Alright, so now we're coming up to the wonderful boss that is Charlie.
Charlie is not his official name or anything, but we have affectionately called him that.
Charlie is the affectionate name from the community. And he's a random boss, and actually I completely lost track of my train of thought there.
What John was probably trying to say is that this boss is completely random, and you can't really do anything. You just shoot him and hope he gives you fast patterns.
Like that.
I think he's going. Oh, okay. Are you going to be shooting him to get faster patterns too?
Twice. I'm not doing it
Okay,
right now.
yeah.
Mostly because I forgot, but we'll pretend it was a carefully planned bit of marathon safety. Every time I shoot myself, I deal a full E-tank of damage.
Yeah, so this isn't really possible.
That was actually a really good Charlie. Second pattern wasn't so great, but otherwise that Charlie was pretty good.
Oh, he was right in the middle too.
Yeah. It's Charlie, like, has one last bit of RNG middle finger. Where he dies actually has a bit of an effect on your time. Because he needs to go back to the center, and that last sigil needs to go to the bottom right. So if he dies in the top left, you lose a fair bit of time over him dying in the bottom right.
Did you miss the most important glitch in the game, or you got it?
I missed the most important glitch in the game, unfortunately.
Most important glitch in the game saves like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Not really, but it's pretty cool.
It is. Ooh! Okay. That was special. I don't know that I've ever actually made that very particular mistake before. Normally I've got tons of height to spare on that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a weird mistake.
I don't know quite where that one came from, but whatever. This Shine Spark chain is a lot more difficult than it probably looks.
It is both a lot more difficult than it looks, and a lot easier than it should. What's the word I'm?
Yeah,
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier than it looks, but it is a lot easier to make a mistake than it looks too.
Yeah.
you don't have very many frames to hold the charge on slopes without anything above them.
Yeah. It's really easy to drop that spark at multiple points throughout the chain. But now we're basically at, like, honestly, one of my least favorite part of Zero Mission, I want to say. And it's not because I don't enjoy the gameplay, it's just the fact that we have to go all the way to the end of the game to get power bombs. And then
this section is fine. It's going back here. That's gonna be a slog.
Yeah, I enjoy the movement and everything through this section, but the fact that we have to do it is what annoys me. Like, unlike other Metroid games, cough cough, Super Metroid, there is no such thing as multiple first power bombs in Zero Mission. Like, the only power bombs we can get for the first power bomb tank are the intended first power bombs. And it's really, really annoying. Because it means we've got to take some pretty significant detours.
If we were playing 100% hard the legitimate way, it would be a lot worse. You'll see coming up that we just...
Oh yeah, this category used to be a thing back in the SDA days, and then it kind of died out for a while. But in recent year, it actually has been revitalized a little bit, thanks to the discovery of a new clip. It used to be so stupid at this part of the game because, like we mentioned earlier, power bomb tanks only give you one power bomb. So, and what we need to do is we need to actually use our first power bomb to open a door right after it, and then use another power bomb in the room. So what we used to have to do was get the power bomb, open the door, go refill, go all the way back down, and it was ridiculously stupid. But we've got a new little setup here. That lets us get through this door without a power bomb. And that probably...
Saving a power bomb saves so much time, and it's...
Yeah, that probably saves close to 45 seconds.
Something like that, yeah. You have to go back to the save room and heal and do a bunch of disgusting things.
The downside to that is that I had to take a mandatory hit. And pirates still deal a full E-tank of damage in hard mode.
Yeah, there is still a very real possibility of death here if he's not careful.
Yep, I have most definitely died in the cleanup portion of this game. So the door clip is another one of those things where you see it in normal mode, but it's not like definitively faster or anything. But hard mode railroads you into doing the door clip pretty hard. We unfortunately don't get to do the route that's associated with it normally. But okay. You know, we still have to do it. It still saves a bunch of time. I don't know why I opted to do that with missiles instead of supers, but whatever. In a normal mode run, we'd be going down there instead of over here. But because we've only got so many power bombs, we have to go this way. We have to do a bunch of stuff that you don't have to do in normal mode.
Yeah, the power bomb route is something that John and I had discussed for probably a week.
Yeah, we've discussed this to death. And
Yeah.
there's not really a better way of doing it right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, we really need some sort of a breakthrough to make the route like 15-20 seconds faster. It'd be really nice too, but it's so hard.
Yeah.
It's almost like there could be something, but there just isn't.
Yep, well, I almost forgot that I need to heal here because I'm out of power bombs. That's going to be a pretty common theme throughout this part of the game too.
If you were doing a dual-fisted run, you could theoretically skip this, but getting 2 power bombs from the lottery room is so rare that it basically never happens.
Yep. And even the stupid thing is that even if I do get a power bomb drop, it doesn't help me. I'm full on power bombs. So there's a really annoying sequence of shine sparks coming up here that in normal mode doing that door clip lets you just skip it, but there's no way around it in hard mode. I mean, there technically is, but there's no way around it that's worth doing.
It's a benefit for you guys. You get to see a longer, cooler shine spark chain.
True. Alright, we're trying to go real fast here. Got it. We successfully went really fast. So all of those sparks, I have probably frames of timer left over. Like, it doesn't look like much, but doing that shine spark chain without taking some extra recharges is really, really difficult. So now we're heading back to Tourian. There's a couple items placed in ruined Tourian, which kind of like a little, it's almost like a reference to Super Metroid. We've got the item under Mother Brain's ruined tank. I don't believe it's a power bomb in Super Metroid. I think it's a missile tank, but still. And then we've got another item here hidden in the wall that we need this space boost for. Coming out approximately where Super Metroid's escape comes out. Not quite paying enough attention to what I'm doing. Oh, I'm space jumping into a platform.
So there are 3 difficulties in this game. There's the easy mode that is not very different from normal mode, and hard mode that you unlock when you beat normal mode, where, as we said before, you get half health enemies deal double damage, and you get half the ammo in general, rounded down.
Yep. So that changes the routing of this quite a bit.
Talking about changing routing, we're coming into Kraid, and
this is going to be very different. I like this part of doing this route. This is a lot of fun.
It really is. John is going to be looking for powerbomb drops so that he can do a superior heal later in the game.
Yep.
But because of powerbomb drops not being reliable, he can't completely count on.
Yeah, we can't count on powerbomb drops, unfortunately. It'd be great if we could. We can't. So we're going to activate the zip lines, and then because we have gravity and space jump, we're not even going to use that one because it's not faster. now we're gonna fight the acid worm, which we fight this guy in normal mode too. But we fight him a little bit differently, because I've got plasma beam and everything right now. Plasma beam, gravity suit, super missiles, and... Ah, no! I messed it up. There's a cool little glitch you can do there. That just kind of makes the camera go all funky, but I accidentally messed it up a bit.
Yeah, you can only break the blocks on the left side for that, and he broke an extra one.
So we're not gonna use this zip line either, because we have space jump. Another cool little strat you can do in normal mode, or in hard mode, that you can't in normal mode, because you don't go through here with Spring Ball. We can blast our way through this, and it's just so trivially easy with all this stuff.
Are you gonna get the frame perfect shot?
I got the frame perfect shot.
Alright. I have to give a bit of a shout out to Mobius Man, who found the route coming up. You're gonna see a part of the game that isn't seen just about anywhere else except for this category. So it's pretty cool.
Yep. So this is the item we have to come back to Kraid for, that we can't get this before going through suitless, because we need gravity suit. These guys are trivially difficult, or trivially easy, I should say. Trivially difficult. Really easy when you have Plasma Beam and Screw Attack. And this is another room. This is the most boring room in the game in normal mode. And I went way out of my way for a power bomb there, but power bomb drops save quite a bit of time in hard mode. So I think that one was worth getting.
It will definitely have been worth getting if you get your third one, yeah.
Yep.
Let's hope and pray, guys.
Fingers crossed for power bomb drops. Missiles.
There are still going to be a few opportunities for power bombs.
Yep, plenty of opportunities left. So now we're finally done with Kraid. There's a lot of stuff you don't see in other categories there.
Yeah, the rest of the game is pretty much going to be the same except for the power bomb usage.
Yep, the power bomb management is going to be very different in hard mode.
Unless
mode.
it gets an extra power bomb.
Yep, I still need one power bomb drop, and that'll make me very happy if I get it. One of the main obstacles to early power bombs in this game is that there are not actually many power bomb tanks that even exist outside of Chizodia. The one I just collected in the lava is one of 3, I think, that isn't in Chizodia. And there's no way to get that one.
The sad thing is that we don't have access to any of the useful glitches in the rooms where we could get early power bombs potentially.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that John's strategy to open the to
Yeah, well,
respawn the block.
my strategy to time
actually
this.
faster for this.
Yeah, everyone else uses the enemy to like come up, but I actually farm the drops from those guys, which is I get made fun of that so much in normal mode, but in hard mode it gives you more chances at a power bomb drop. So. No power bomb drop there. There's a good chance there. Not a great chance, but a good chance. And last room. Nope. Got a refill. That's a shame. But what are you gonna do? Get out of the lava, please. I guess the lava doesn't actually hurt, so... Alright. So now the power bomb management is going to be a bit different than ideal. It's going to be very different from normal mode.
Yeah, that's a nice thing about not getting enough power bombs here, is that you're going to see proper power bomb usage, and it's pretty interesting, because I mean, you just power bomb everything in normal mode, and that's not that fun.
Yep, and you can use if you do get the 2 extra power bombs, you can do almost every power bomb strat.
In a perfect world, you get 3 extra power bombs, and you just basically play the same category.
There.
I think there was one run where you were maxed out on power bombs.
Yeah, I got a ton of power bombs, and I got to check out if it made sense to actually just not heal, and it does not.
Yeah, having an extra super missile is also very useful, that we don't get to have if we don't.
So that's our last sight of anything outside of Chozodia. And I can verify that I have all of the missiles, because I have 100.
Yeah, it is fairly difficult to miss super missiles and power bombs in this game.
Yep. So this is one of the strats that's a little different. In normal mode, you just power bomb there, but in hard mode, you get to do this cool spring ball bomb.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite strategies in this category.
It's a cool strategy. It's a really annoying strategy sometimes, but it's pretty cool. Screw attack. Wait, that was a gold Norfair cleanup? What? I just noticed that. And I'm noticing weird things like that because this is the most boring stretch of game. We're basically going all the way back to, where we fought Charlie.
Yeah, this stretch of the game is just stupid. Why? This is just bad game design, if I'm being honest.
Yep. We're going all the way back out here to get 1 powerbomb tank, and we have no way of getting it early. I would love to get it early. That would make me very, very happy, but...
we just don't have the glitches or resources to do it.
Nope. We have no way of clipping through blocks and ceilings.
Yeah, the problem is that it's several tiles wide the blocks are to get here. You need to have it be 1 tile block.
The best we can do clipping into walls is clip. We can clip 1 tile through right side walls only. So that's very specific. And
you can clip into 1 tile wide single walls too on the side, but that's about it. With ice.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the developers did a really painfully good job of preventing sequence breaks to get early power bombs.
Yeah, just about every big sequence break in this game is intentional.
Yep. Which, like, it's cool in its own way, but... You know, you always like seeing those unintentional things.
I mean, we saw enough of that in this run too, so it's not like there was nothing. But
Yeah.
Zero Mission definitely is one of the least broken Metroid games that there is.
I think it is definitively the least broken.
I mean, I guess there's other end.
I mean, I don't count other M because you need people trying to do it, to break it, and that requires playing other M, and I'm not sure that people actually do that. So now we finally get to go to the bottom part of the ship. Conserving my ammunition here, because I'm coming up to the final boss fight. I'm a few minutes out from it right now, and the final boss is actually kind of scary in hard mode, which is not very common in Zero Mission. Normally you just kind of kill this boss really quickly, but it's... Huh! What went on there with my HUD? I've never seen that.
Oh yeah, that's happened to Jagger G before too.
Really?
Yeah, in that exact same spot. That's interesting.
Huh.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting how they make the final boss harder if you have 100% of items. Cool.
Yep. So the way the final boss works is if you get 100%, he has triple health and deals double damage.
This is very significant on hard mode where
Yeah, it is.
our resources are a lot lower, yeah.
Like, his regular claw swipe attack in hard mode deals 300 damage, which is almost half of my health.
And we don't even have enough super missiles to kill him instantly.
No, we don't. So now I finally get to open this shortcut. Yeah?
John has a safety save for this, right?
I do have a safety save for this.
Yeah, so if he dies, yeah, we'll be fine.
Yep. And there is very much a non-zero risk of death here. Just gotta get one last item. The infamous space jump E-tank. Which that's definitely a lot harder than it looks.
It's a very simple trick too. There's not a lot to it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people try to do it that way while playing casually. There's a nice easy shine spark you can do, but...
Yeah, it's not even a trick, it's just jumping, but it is difficult. Yeah, there is shine spark space, but it's not obvious. The obvious thing is to jump through the lasers. And here is where we practice our bomb jumping skills before fighting the final boss.
Yeah. And you can see I hit all of my supers, and he's still not dead, so... Ah, man! I had an opportunity and I squandered it. well. Sorta got it. Didn't save time with it, though. Okay. We verified that we had 100%, so now all that's left to do is escape. And you'll notice the escape timer is also shortened. It's 5 minutes in normal mode, and I've only got 3 minutes here. Still way more than enough, but something to note. From a casual perspective, hard mode is a serious challenge. Even in the speedrun, it's non-trivial.
Yeah, the first time the best player of this game tried hard mode, he died pretty quickly.
I almost want to say he died in the first room.
I don't remember exactly when he died, but it was fast.
Oops. So that was not quite what I was trying to do there, but... Alright. Alright.
For your convenience, we're gonna just skip the credits and watch see the end game time quickly.
Yep. Alright. So there's... Final time, 1:16:12, which I'm not gonna complain about that at all.
Yeah, you didn't die, so...
I did not die, and that was the
goal.
goal. Alright, we're gonna make use of some emulator features here.
Don't do this if you submit a run to the leaderboards, though.
Yeah, please don't actually do that in a PB attempt. We're doing that for the sake of the marathon. But that is that. That's Zero Mission 100% hard. And I think we're gonna just go ahead and hand it off to the next run here.
Yeah, we don't want to spend too much of your time. Yep. We're really far behind.
Yep,
thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you all enjoyed that. And I think we're moving on to Prime 2 Glitchless. So keep an eye out for that. That's it for us.